Good evening, everyone. This is Palatheus, commander of the Romarian Legion, and today we will be doing the Ask the Empire Q&A session with Arthos. Alrighty, thanks for joining us, Arthos. I know a couple people in the community were excited,
To say the least. Yeah.
to say the least. Alrighty, so to start this Q&A off, I don't know, just looking through these questions, we got a lot of good ones. Um, hmm. I guess we'll start off with Noxidius for the basic question. Are we going east or west?
So both the EU and the NA server, we are both going to go west. The reason for that is because everyone's flocking either to the central in EU or to the east in NA, and due to our size, we feel that it's best for the establishment and to allow newer players to come in um, to a smaller community and not feel overburdened by having these larger kingdoms um, kind of invading essentially, and so it gives us more time to grow as a community and as a kingdom itself.
Okay. And the reason for the split, or the main reason, was the latency issue or the ping being too high, right?
Absolutely, and that's why we keep the same Discord because we're really connected as a group still, and we wish that we could play together, but it's just impossible. If we all of the Empire were on the East Coast, then yeah, we could probably do NAE or EU, and be completely fine with 200 ping or something. But where I'm located now, I'm already getting 200, and I'm going to be moving to the West Coast next year. So
Oh, okay. And it'd just be in everyone's best interest to not spend that money and then, you can't play on the EU server, so.
exactly, and like I've talked to Caspian, and he's personally recommended to go to the West Coast, just so it's not a waste of time and money. Because once Kingdoms of Lyria comes out, all of the pledged kings, dukes, etc., they're going to be having to choose their lands, and they're going to be established. So you won't be able to say, "Hey, I want to go EU," and then decide that you want to be transferred over because the server itself, like the world, will be built by that point.
Okay. Alrighty. Another question from Noxidius. We'll go ahead and ask this one and save his best one for last. Um, if you are the commander of the Romarian Empire, who is the emperor?
So within the actual empire itself, um, we've decided that I'm the empire, or I'm the emperor of the empire, in name only, because I'm not one to take false titles. Right now I'm a count, but now that the store's open, I'm going to be pledging to Duke, and so, I am known as Duke Arthos Romaria, but to save time and confusion, I go by Commander, so people understand that. However, in the Discord itself, Palatheus is our commander, which is the highest military rank we have. So, it's to show a leadership structure within the Discord, but in the forums in the community, I'm just commander. I don't go by emperor or god king or whatever you want to call me, or pretender. I don't like to pretend that I'm something I'm not. Once we do establish a kingdom or multiple kingdoms, if luck is with us, then yeah, we'll be opening up with the Senate to decide who is fit for emperor. But so far, whenever I ask, everybody agrees that I should be the one who's the emperor because of
Def-
all the work that's happened. So
definitely. And I know a lot of the Romarian people see you as that leader, and so of course we're loyal.
which is great because I'm just a Alexander the Great wannabe essentially because I'm 15 and taking command of a group.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can achieve great things like he did and
Yeah.
not die.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Alrighty. The next little series of questions come from one of our own, Tarvald Turnbull. And he's got a lot of good ones, so we'll go ahead and answer a couple of his, and then we'll move on from there. So the first one that we have was, what makes the Empire? What makes the Romarian Empire the Romarian Empire?
The people. Like that's really all it comes down to. The empire is meant to be built on the people's values. So when I say, we're building an empire by the people for the people, I'm not just saying that with words. If the people want to raise the taxes, we will put in a vote through the Senate, and we'll raise the taxes or decrease them or whatever. Everything that we want to do to build this is what the people want. It's not, well, excuse me, like your typical feudal system of, well, you have your queen and 3 or 4 people that you trust, and that's it. And the rest of your people are just plebes or gentry, and they have no idea who the leaders are. They don't know anything about the kingdom itself besides, oh, they have numbers, therefore I'm safe in them. They don't know if the person's actually a good leader or not. So when it comes down to it, it's the people, because without them, I would just be a duke. Whoop-de-doo. I need the people in order to do something, and so that's why I give everything I can to the people for the empire.
Okay. The next question is, how are you structured?
In regards to our government structure.
I believe so. So, kind of like you being the emperor, and then we have the Senate, and the Senate usually consists of the speakers of each one of our branches.
So this is touched on a little bit with our website, romarian-empire.eu. So you have the role of the emperor, who him, as well as every single head of the department. So you have your commander for the military, you have the master of coin for economics, you have the head of internal affairs who takes care of domestic and external threats of intelligence and spies and everything like that. Then you also have the head of industry. These positions are meant to hold the experts of their field. So you wouldn't want, some kid who doesn't know anything about math or taxes or economics lead, your economic division. And so for that, because of how large the responsibility is and how the training is, we make sure that those positions are permanent on the Senate. Then we branch it out to counties. We refer counties as city-states to take more of a Roman approach on things, because in my understanding, a duke essentially runs a country, and a count would then run like a state in the sense of North America.
Okay.
And the king would run all of America, if they were broken up into various countries or something. And obviously, barons and mayors run the cities within them. So these counts will be able to sit on the Senate for 90 days. Roughly 60 or so days is, free. Let's, take care of our process and everything. And for the last 30 days, spent more towards possible re-election or trying to find a replacement. Because we want the people to be able to choose who they want for these elected positions. So if you have someone who is a landed noble in the sense of, he runs a city and he's interested in politics, then by all means we can allow them to run for a Senate position and be appointed. We don't want to take away ranks in the sense of, if the count is not interested in politics and the count doesn't want to run, or he does get voted out, we don't want to remove that title from the count, because more likely than not, it has been a pledged count during the Kickstarter, and it would just be rude to simply rip that away from them if they put money into that, because that's an investment to the game.
Hmm.
So if that is the case, then you have this baron or mayor who is on the Senate. They would then be more or less an aide to that count and be their right hand man to say, by the way, this is what the Senate has voted on. If that count then decides to neglect or refuse what the Senate wills, because as it stands, the Senate is the voice of the empire, because they've taken all these thoughts and opinions from the people, and this is what the people want, and they still go against the empire's wishes, then yes, we will have to remove titles at that point, because it would be a neglection of their duties as the representative, and they wouldn't be fit to have that position of count at that point.
Okay.
And we would have to give it to the person who was willing to do that job.
Okay.
Because as it stands, the count is the one who sets up a lot of those money and economic laws and everything, more so than if you were just a mayor or a baron.
Oh, okay. And like none of these positions are set in stone. Like let's say for example, me being commander of the military forces, if I was to mess up really bad over and over, I could be removed from office.
Absolutely. Even the empire or emperor can.
Okay.
Every position can be replaced if the people will it. Now, for those sort of positions, those key roles that are not voted on, typically by the gentry, those would be an emergency like executive order set through the Senate itself, where they felt that because hypothetically, if I ended up in a car accident and I was out of commission for a good 6 months to a year, or if my character dies, well, truly, I may take up the role of my heir, but for a role playing standpoint, my heir may not be the same person. He may not be Arthur's, and for that, he may not be worthy of the title of emperor, and somebody would have to take over that at that point and vote them in. So the way the system is built is meant to have fail-safes and ensure that if I were to pass, or if you to pass, or anybody, the empire still functions. It's not reliant on just one person. It's an ideal. So when we worship Al or worship the empire, it's the ideal that we're worshiping. We worship more of the banner and the empire itself more than just a mortal being who comes and goes.
Okay.
So I hope that answered the question and then some.
Yeah, that should be pretty much good for that question. Let's see, we'll ask like 2 more from Tarvald for now because he's got like 10 million of them.
Well, he's a very, very inquisitive person, and we really appreciate him in the community.
Definitely. Next question. What's your plans for expansion?
Plans for expansion? Well, the end goal is unify Illyria. Straight up. We don't want to necessarily unify it through conquest.
Yeah.
Both me and my character share the same ideal, because me as a player, I understand you're investing your time and resources into this game, and to have some random person come by and raise your city and destroy everything you love and put time and money into, that's just a dick move, straight up. So we'll offer peace first, and we seek alliances. We want to have a unified band. So in the instances of another kingdom rising up, and they have their own thing going on. We would want to then approach them and invite them to join the empire. Um, they would be able to keep their titles, their lands, and continue to move on and live peacefully as they do. The main thing that would change is they would acknowledge that Arthos or whoever was appointed the emperor was now the one in charge, and they would adapt to our rules and laws. This is more so to encourage bandits and criminals that would attack farmsteads that are on the outskirts of the empire and near the border, the to make it more impossible for them to actually jump from our kingdom to another one, expecting to get out of jurisdiction and away from our laws, where we could no longer punish them.
Okay. And I know when a lot of people hear about the Empire and they read about everything and they hear, you know, oh, these motherfuckers are trying to take over all of Illyria, you know, I don't think some of them are seeing that that's not just going to happen like by the time exposition is finished with.
Oh God, no! I look into the long term. I'm not a short term player. Um, I'm looking to make things much more focused on the community and building up slowly. So when it does come to the time of expansion, we're looking to take over an NPC kingdom. If I'm not able to actually become a pledged king through IP donation or whatever other means, uh, and we want to focus more on that expansion than stealing from other players. Now, if we do come to a player city and we offer the peace and they decline, we'll have to be more aggressive up to the point that if they don't accept it, we will have to attack and we will have to kill them. And it's not our goal, it's not our desire. We want peace first. Uh, if they come willingly, they keep their lands and their titles. If they take up arms, then there's no other choice. We will have to destroy them, and we will have to appoint somebody who would be willing to fight for the empire at that
Okay.
point.
All right, that makes sense. Um, the next question comes from Arlo. Well, I'll kind of just ask both of these questions real quick. Because you've already stated that our main religion is going to be the religion of Ao or
Yep.
Al, but
Ow.
yeah, Al. But
The god of light.
yeah, but
Well,
we're not super stringent, I guess you could say, when it comes to who you can or can't worship. It's basically whatever you want to worship, you can worship.
yes, you can worship anything. However, Arthos is very, very pious. It's actually part of his backstory with the family. He believes that Ao himself came down during the awakening when his great grandfather was fighting for the Koshal family, um, and was wounded in battle. The Koshals decided to award him the title of count and give him lands due to his service for the king at the time, and that's essentially how I inherited the rank, which we are working on more of a story role of how I'm becoming a duke, be it through conquest, as our story took us from the EU um, to search for this mystical relic that is actually part of the story through Anara Star Song, where it's rumored to prolong your life. It's a some sort of relic. So that's why Arthos in game wise is coming to the North American servers, because he's looking for this relic, so he can get closer to Ao and um, essentially bring the whole empire closer to understanding Ao's wishes and everything. And because he is the god of light, or not correction, not god of life, um, we are very close to also Angelica and Demon or Damon, however you want to pronounce it, because the way you create life is through light and fire. Because when you burn things, it creates anew through Terra and Oceanus and everything. And obviously, you need light in order to create life. Luna is also important because Luna is the kin of darkness. Well, mushrooms grow in the dark. Mushrooms are very beneficial to a lot of alchemical recipes. So every kin is respected. However, I believe that life is the most important one out of all of them. The only
Okay.
one that we probably do not uh, agree with is Salinas. She is the kin of suffering and torture, but that's for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we'll keep her out for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, but as far as the religion go, it's really just character preference.
Yeah, the Empire's most dominant religion, though, is definitely going to be Ao. The soldiers and everything will probably pray to Ao for protection and to keep them alive, essentially.
Okay.
Either that or they will worship the kin of war.
Okay.
Uh,
So that
e,
would be
Ra- e, Rammer, I believe, might be the name. I don't have the wiki up to get the name, but I do know that I believe EU Central is named after him. So.
okay. And that main question that was coming from Arlo, well, the two questions was, what style are you basing your empire on, if you can relate to any real life empires, and what made you create this faction?
It's going to be more Roman focused. However, the only parts that we're taking from Rome is the military and the government aspects. Our government structure is a democratic republic where the people have a voice, the people have power. It's more of an equal opportunity, essentially. The only difference, obviously, is the emperor doesn't have as much power as in real life, and we aren't really allowing the church to control everything like historical Rome does. However, the way that their government worked and their focus on trade and economics very much strengthened them, as well as their military in their tactics and the sense of being this large military focused group that was able to push through and convert people. Also, religion was a huge thing as well. They would basically say, hey, convert to Christianity or die. So, if you have a strong military force imposing this on people that were weaker and lesser than you, then yeah, more oftentimes than not, of course, they would convert to Christianity. So, we're kind of focusing on that a little bit. Just not to the extreme, and hopefully not with the amount of greed, because our people are extremely close knit. We've had a lot of issues with people trying to poach our members or approach them and throw out insults, and they all came to me showing me screenshots and being very thorough and loyal, and I greatly appreciate that with my people. And what was the second question you had?
The second question from Arlo was, what made you create this faction?
Well, we were part of Zegethia before. I was with them almost since I joined the community back in October of last year, and at that point, Zegethia had chosen to be EU or NA at that point. So I was hoping, like, it was wishful thinking that they would go, obviously, NA,
Hmm.
which they never did. But uh, I ended up leaving Zegethia for various reasons. They tried to um, accuse me of wanting to overthrow Zultra because my family was one of the largest ones in there. They assumed that I was a spy for Nurath because someone tried to be an imposter and throw out some random report that was in all honesty, written by an amateur. And when I tried to defend my case, people were very supportive of that and understood that if I was really a spy, I would have given timestamps, screenshots, quotes. I want to be as thorough as humanly possible, and that's something I really took into consideration. In regards to establishing ourselves, we had a basic foundation set up for the way the house worked. Um, and when we had the chance to leave Zegethia, I had asked the people at my house what they thought, and it caused a huge split. There were some that stayed in Zegethia for a little while longer until it crumbled under its own weight, and then some left to join Arcadia or Trigger, but the majority of them continued to stay with me. And that was the starting of the Empire at that point.
Okay.
And we decided to found it because we were tired of the monarchy type of system. We understand that the game itself is set more into that, but we wanted to create something new. And so that's why we chose more of a Roman theme, where it's a republic than a select few.
Definitely. And with the Romarian Empire being more of a RP community, there's flexibility with the COE system from what they've
It,
told us so far.
yeah, we've changed a lot of the terminology because obviously, you're going to have counts and dukes and kings and everything like that. However, obviously if you're a duke, we're probably going to make you a general because you are in charge of the military. You won't have the necessarily opportunity to get onto the Senate unless obviously you still currently own your county, or if you decide to give it off to somebody. But you'll probably be too busy with military tactics anyways to want to be in politics, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's not going to prevent people who want to go into that field to actually be in that field.
Okay, so like let's say we had another Duke come in, and like you said, Duke would probably be promoted to general.
Mhm. Assuming he actually wanted to be in the military, but as the Duke is one of the founding uh, like the foundations of a kingdom when it comes to the military because they are the ones who are buying these soldiers and paying for them. Then yes, if you're going to be a duke, you're probably going to be in the military.
Okay, so like me, right now I hold the Senate position as commander of the
Mm-hmm.
military. So me being in the Senate as the Speaker of the military, that just means I get to speak on the military's behalf, basically like what we need, and then I can relay it down the chain.
Yes, and you pretty much have the expert opinion. So if somebody proposes that we go to war with somebody, you are the one who has the most sway and say, no, that is an idiotic idea. We've stretched our forces too thin. We don't have the resources or the manpower. We can't do that. Then definitely take it into consideration, that advice because you are essentially the top advisor when it comes to the military side of things.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Um, the next question comes from Gunlang. I hope I said that right.
Um,
There's a couple of these names on here I might mess up, so just bear with me. But the next question comes from Gunlang.
oh, not Baron. Because
Shit, I
to
don't see that one.
real quick, no, I'm not scared of a Viking horde coming to destroy my quote unquote empire. So
Oh shit, I didn't even see that one.
yeah,
I scrolled
I'm
past
not
it.
afraid of that. It's a lot harder to take over a kingdom than people think.
Hmm. And from what I've noticed, I think a lot of the little small Viking clans haven't really fared so well.
Well, then you have groups like Dread Legion and Vornir, and they've all gone to the east, so
Yeah.
not too worried about that. When it comes to Trigger, well, they are EU, so I'm not afraid of that. But I believe that our EU commander Demikos is actually um, working on diplomatic. means to ease the waves because, as I'm aware, the EU is not a big fan of Arctos.
Oatmeal cereal instead of that multi-grain. So I'm wondering if that's what's giving her the rash.
Okay.
Because she's been on that for a couple of days.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, sorry about that. Baby issues.
It's okay, you can.
Alrighty. Well, shit. Alrighty, so Gunlang. Do you allow any independent towns within your borders? If so, what is your stance on them? And I'm assuming this goes back to the kind of the city-state idea with the Romans.
Okay, so these people, they would be able to have protection from the Empire because essentially you are in our borders. You are Romarian. Regardless if you join or not, you're going to be Romarian because you're in our borders and on our land. In the sense that you need to basically join up and fight for the Empire and everything. Not necessarily. You are expected to pay your taxes, obviously. And if you are going to raise some sort of army for yourself to defend your town, you will have to abide by the laws of the Empire and send a 1-to-1 ratio to us. But you would not be required necessarily to join our Discord, join our site, and be part of the Empire itself, and take part in the military conquest and everything. But you would not have a seat on the Senate because you are considered at that point a affiliate of the Empire under the protection, but you are not necessarily part of the Empire, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So basically, they're living in the lands, but they still have to abide under the rules and regulations of the Empire.
So they would be independent and be able to do as they wish, and get the protection and the benefits of the Empire. But in exchange, they have to abide by the rules and the laws, as well as pay their taxes and ship their troops if they do decide to start building their men. But yes, if they were attacked, we would still defend them. We would still support them economically and through trade, because as it stands, they are within our borders. Therefore, they are Romarians.
Okay, makes sense. And I think he had another question, or he had a couple questions here. I'm just trying to sort through them, see which ones we've kind of already covered.
Well, he asked if I plan to rule with a dictatorship, and I've established that is not the way that this works.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next one from Barguest. What are your plans if you cannot get enough dukes to successfully win a civil war?
Well, we will not be doing a civil war or fighting unless we will win. That's what the Senate is for. It's not, how Zoltra ran things, when he declared war against Arcadia and stole, 80 plus members from them because he called Raziel out for being a poacher. If we're going to go to war, it's because we have the troops, we have the manpower and the resources, and the Senate has approved the declaration of war. And at that point, we would send our force to our borders, and then put in that casus belli and send the troops over, and they would be there in a fortnight and just destroy everything at that point. But yeah, I don't plan on going to war unless I have a for sure 100% chance of winning, and winning with the most casualties to the enemy and the least on mine.
Okay. Next question comes from Sohai. What are your long-term plans for ruling as well as technology/development?
So I'm a very large fan of research and development. I like to focus more on the economic and trade side of things. If possible, I would love to have a large enough river that led to the ocean so I could allow sea trade. That would be great. But for long-term plans of ruling, it's simple. I want to rule as benevolently as I can, be firm but fair, and I want to build something larger than anybody's ever seen before. I want to build a community that's brothers and sisters. We're a family here in the Empire. It's not just some random group that's thrown together and hope for the best. No, we're small because we chose to stay small. We're very close, and there's no drama within our halls. And if there ever is, it's snuck out really quick, and everybody's very upset. We like to play games together, and we're just a bunch of gaming people. We're really relaxed and laid back, and just we want to have fun. This is our dream game, and we're putting everything we can to make it a reality.
Yeah, definitely. And so far, I think we've built a pretty good community.
Mhm. I think so. I think that we've got some of the best people, and it does suck that we split because we lost, some of the probably the better spies, but
Yeah.
we still have a good chunk of quality people with us.
Yeah.
So,
And in keeping with the Roman theme, I think we can pretty much answer this next question. Will you be holding PvP tournaments?
absolutely. If you've looked at our website, you can see what our laws are that we have so far regarding crime and punishment. And I am looking forward to the Colosseum idea that we plan on having built inside of Romar, our capital city. We want to encourage people who are PvPers, who are these murderous scumbags who enjoy the thrill of combat, to enter the Colosseum uh, by paying an entry fee that a portion would go obviously to the Empire and to the maintenance of the Colosseum, and risk your own life in order to receive the offerings of others' equipment and money as a prize reward. And we want that blood and carnage, so that way you are doing it in a legal setting within the Colosseum and not killing innocent civilians on the road. So you can get the thrill of combat and still get the rewards and the prizes that you want without having to worry about going to the guillotine and losing your head over it.
Hmm. Now, with the gladiatorial matches or whatever, is it going to be permadeath, or are we just going to sort of cut it off and let them walk back to their bodies? How are you going to work that?
We will let them walk back to their body, absolutely. They'll go into the arena with the understanding that it is to the death. It's not to incapacitation; it's to the death, because the winner will have their fair share to be able to take the rewards of the other people's armor and have that as a good chunk of their prize money. They'll get some of the entry fee as well, which having a 30-40 man gladiatorial combat, it can get very rewarding very fast. It is the ultimate risk versus reward without having to worry about permadeath through sailing and dying in the ocean.
Yeah.
We also do want to try to expand into more of of the themed things as well with the Colosseum. Something I would personally love to see is horse races. That's something I would like to see.
Oh, even better, Trison races.
Or Trison races, but if I was doing Trison races, it would those could get bloody really fast.
Definitely, it's what the people want, Arthos.
True. It's what the people want, or is it just what Palacios wants?
Well, that has yet to be determined.
Yeah, I would also like to see jousting and other sports too. But one thing that I know for sure during these standard gladiatorial competitions, criminals that were deemed guilty of murder, if they are within distance of the capital city, then we will place them inside of the arena with nothing but the clothes on their back
Hmm.
and give them a sword if they can survive fighting against these other PvPers or fighting against some sort of creature that we've been able to tame and control. They win their pardon. They're free to go.
That sounds fair enough.
It's trial by combat, and hopefully they can win because it'll prove their worth, and they'll learn their lesson and try not to do it again. But if they are too far from the city, our rule when it comes to murder is if you kill somebody, we will kill you.
Definitely. Does that go with NPCs as well, or just players?
Uh, it's anybody. We don't want them coming around and killing NPCs.
That might be, what do
That
they
are
call it?
vital to the town.
Uh,
Everybody has a purpose, and unlike a player, NPCs do not respond.
yeah,
You can wipe out an entire town and leave it as a ghost town because they don't
yeah,
respond.
yeah,
They have souls, they have their families and everything, but they do not respond.
and another thing, some of if you kill an NPC, well, that might have actually been a player's character that you just
Exactly.
killed.
It could have been an error.
Yep.
So,
Alrighty. On to the next little line of questions coming from Tarragwin. Um, First question: have you yet defined your combat economic intelligence doctrines?
um, if he's talking about some sort of like a contract or like oath, I don't believe so, but there's plenty of time to do that. Now, if he's talking about creating the foundation, then obviously he has not looked at our website because we've definitely put in the declaration and cut it up into pieces. We do need to update it. We're actually working on that right now and getting a new structure as well as a new form for recruitment that's more genre, including drop-down menus and fill in the blanks to create essentially an oath. But I think that he'll have to come to our Discord and speak to me at a later time to kind of get an understanding of that and what he's actually asking.
Okay. And his next question, or his or her next question was, when you look at the most important thing to advance technologically, what is it and why?
Mm,
Yeah, that's a good one.
that is a really good one. Most people would say military, but I love The Sims personally, and what drew me to Sealy is the sense of the Sims, SimCity type of architecture and building. So I would love to focus more on the construction side of technology rather than the military side. Something that's interested me is walls and aqueducts and highways, things that are these grand structural just themes. And since we would love to be in something similar to like Vancouver, Canada, or Colorado Springs, where we're in like deep green, lush valleys with the mountains overlooking us, creating this beautiful scenery, and with waterfalls coming down in the capital, like that. That is something that I would like to look into. We are definitely going to have to focus on mining technology because that is the key role for my house. We are a heavy mining and stone masonry / blacksmith focused crafting group. And so we want to build Romar inside of the mountain to add to the defense, make
Oh,
it an impervious city, essentially.
oh, okay. And see, I think I think that's where a lot of people get kind of, I guess you say kind of jitterish about the empire because they'll look at us, they hear about the empire, and then they look at you as the head of the military, like straight on, hard
Mm.
going, I guess you could say.
The
Because
try hard.
yeah, because they don't. I guess they're not familiar with our system, but because I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know that you were interested in just the city building aspect and shit like that. And
Oh yeah,
I
I
was more
I
focused on the
love the
military.
I love the thought of building over destroying, getting those uh, more like Skyrim focused type of buildings where the bottom half is stone and top is wood and everything. I would love to see a bunch of that. I do know that there's a couple of members that want to be in the desert, and hopefully we can accommodate that because a lot of people don't realize that yes, you don't have much vegetation or water, but there are so many resources. You have gold, silver, um, various very valuable resources out in the desert. Um, and yeah, we hopefully can span into something like that. But my main focus more into the northern coastal area. I would love to have a good amount of water sources and mountains, if possible, to add to defense and more strategic points, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Um. Next question. Well, I think we kind of covered that with the.
The economic goals.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do have a base foundation which we are actually going to have to update because apparently it is outdated. The way that the tax system is, it's not percentage based anymore. So we are actually going to have to put that on hold regarding that because as it was standing, we are going to take a certain percentage from each county that would go then to the kingdom. And so the counties would have their own money building up to create their own side projects and grow themselves, and then allow the kingdom to grow off of these various counties. So obviously the kingdom itself would be larger than the counties themselves, but at the same time keeping a very substantial amount to them. Because of that, we're going to have to wait even longer, similar to the amount of pounds that somebody would owe if they, were guilty of assault or theft or something by working in our mines, because we don't know what the financial situation will look like. Most MMOs, they get broken very quickly. Um, they turn into where you have to spend, 1 million gold just to get one measly sword you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that COE remains into more of a realistic approach, and 50 to 100 gold is actually quite a lot. That's what I would like. So that way I don't have to have these exuberant entry fees or ridiculous prices when it comes to taxing people. Because when they see, oh, you owe 10,000 gold for just staying with us for a week, being 1 Illyrian year, I don't want to see that happen because
Yeah.
it just gets really ridiculous really fast.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question: has nobility already pledged their allegiances to you? How many associations have you rallied to your cause? And I
Um,
guess I'll go ahead and ask the next question because it kind of ties into that too. So, how many associations have you rallied to your cause? What makes people want to follow you, be part of your kingdom, and thus be a subject of you?
well, I'll answer that part first. There's actually a huge interest in our group because a lot of people are like me. They don't want to follow that feudal, noble, you know, aristocrat type of system because that's what everyone is doing. So we're going against the grain. We're trying something new. We're doing basically an experiment. To pass or fail is actually there. You know, it's the people. They're, if they want us to succeed, they're going to make us succeed. We've gone through so many trials, and we've always become stronger as a group, and past all these trials. When it came to the crumbling of Zagatia, and we founded ourselves, and even when we went and split, the NA only had 5 members, and how we're in the double digits. We're growing substantially. very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in regards to nobility, we do have a few nobles in the NA. We actually have some counts as well. Uh, so yeah, they definitely are rallying. Third party groups, none have really approached me, and in the same sense, I have not approached them. Most groups are more comfortable playing it safe, and so they're rallying to Blackheart right now. But yeah, we won't talk ill, Blackheart, or positive. We will remain neutral on that because I enjoy talking to Blackheart, and I don't want to sully any of that with hearsay that I've been hearing.
Yeah, definitely. Um, we'll go ahead and move on to Lech's questions because I know he had some pretty detailed ones in here. Let's go ahead and start with that first one. In the matters of state, what will the European and American branches of Romeria have as to a power policy? Decentralization, centralization, or something else? And to what ideas of specifics do you have for such policies?
Definitely decentralization. I actually have the definition for people who don't understand what that means. So, decentralization is the process of redistributing or dispersing functions, powers, people, or things away from a central location or authority. The reason why I say decentralization is because we have the kingdom and the emperor, okay, and our powers are distributed into these city states. These counties are allowed to build as they wish. They have their plans. They're free to do what they will. Where a lot of kingdoms, at least from my experience being in Zagathia, they said, you are a farmer, you are a warrior, focus on the military, focus on the crops. I don't want to do that. There's a lot of people who want to be a little mixture of everything. And I'm not going to simply say, sorry, you aren't going to be able to do that because we need horses or we need war trisons. I need you to focus on those.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are trying to push the powers away to allow them to be more independent and essentially making the community much stronger. Because if one is strong and everybody else isn't, okay, you're screwed. You're taking too much of a workload, and you will end up turning into Zagathia and crumbling on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Distribute the power, and you create basically a pyramid. You create a foundation that cannot be destroyed. So.
Definitely, and I know I hate to talk ill of Zagathia, but you know it's not really, it doesn't really exist anymore. So, you know that was a big thing, classifying people as second tier and third tier houses. I know
that was one of our big reasons to leave because they actually removed your position in the military and said, oh, you're a vassal house to Romeria, therefore you are no longer fit to lead. You are basically a slave to Romeria at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not appreciate that.
Yeah. And that was when you were just a house.
Yep.
So, oh, good times, good times.
Right.
Will the European branch of Romeria consider doing an interview? And I'm not sure if you've talked to Demicus about that or not.
I actually haven't, but I'm sure he would not be opposed to it.
Yeah.
I know that him and Grenrick are extremely active. They have a good thing going for them. I believe they have 2 or 3 counts, and Demikos is actually looking into either becoming a baron or a count himself. He would love to become a duke, but he has a lot of financial, priorities.
Yeah.
I think that he's actually planning a wedding. I have to double check.
Yeah.
So.
Which is, it's cool. Not everybody has that 10 grand to throw down for, just.
I sure as hell don't.
I definitely don't.
I have to.
Alrighty. Oh, here's a good one. I don't think we've broached on yet. What is the American and European branch's outlook on sorcerers and others with quote-unquote talents?
I can't answer anything about Europeans, but American server, we welcome it. Um, so
By the rare chance that you actually get magic, you know.
so our people are interesting. At least for Arthas' standpoint, if you come into town and you have magic, we would view you as a descendant of Ao, essentially being a demigod, because Ao has bestowed these gifts to you and blessed you with these talents. You would be welcome and free to roam inside of Romeria. Now, if you were shooting fireballs everywhere and destroying the world, then obviously power has corrupted you and you no longer deserve the gifts of Ao, and we will do everything in our power to eliminate you. The same thing would ironically work for if we met a lich. We would probably worship it until it tried to start killing us, and the same thing would happen. We would have to kill it. Kill it with fire, because we have been told in the Discord that witch burning or witch trials is definitely a thing. And so I think that burning people is going to be a big thing. Yeah, because by burning you, it'll create a new, essentially in the sense of a phoenix.
Yeah.
Because through fire comes life after death.
Okay. And definitely with the whole magic thing, because I know I've met a lot of people so far who aren't too familiar with the magical aspect of Chronicles of Lyria. They don't understand that there's that very, very small chance that you might actually be gifted with magic. So, you know,
Exactly.
magic is going to be, or at least I would hope so, magic is going to be super overpowered.
There's talk that only 5% of the player population is going to actually have that access.
Yeah, and so...
I know that Farden, he's one of ours. That is all he wants to do. He just wants to uncover the secrets of magic, and so he plans to explore. So I've given him the task of finding what I've deemed as Ao's Kiss, or Kiss of Ao, being that mystical relic that prolongs life. That is his goal. So in the sense of him finding magic, he's also going to be hunting this rare relic for us.
Oh, definitely. And what's awesome about Chronicles of Lyria is that can happen. You know, in the videos they've showed so far, you see the different ruins and, you know, the different places. And it's not like other MMOs. It's, you know, these places can actually hold powerful artifacts that can actually, you know, create like a ripple effect throughout Illyria itself.
And he's also wanting to try to find out a different way to uncover magic instead of, oh, hey, I've been inherently born with this talent. He actually wants to try to find a demon and forge a pact with it. So good luck to him. He might die permanently, and it will suck, but hey, more power to him. It gives him a good in-character, like, role play sense of purpose, and so that'll be good for him.
Okay. The issue of commons, I'm not 100% sure, but you know, I'll ask it anyways. You're pretty good at on-the-fly questions. With the issue of commons, what stance does either branch of Romeria take on it currently?
And then he goes into detail of it later, regarding land or natural things open to the public as a citizen's right. Example, the right of Roman citizens of the Republic have free use of water. Though this gave the citizenry drinking water, it helped pollute Roman waterways and helped give rise to disease and other ailments due to industry, mankind, and animals' feces and other unmentionables. Well, considering aqueducts are a huge thing that I really want to do, then I don't see an issue regarding that.
I think I kind of understand. So kind of like, you know, public bathhouses and shit like that, you know, just common places for disease to fester.
Got you. Okay. I don't know if they're even going to include that, because as far as I was aware, they actually took away the grading scale of, say, you go out for a year or two in the wilderness and you come back with this big old bushy beard, you're dirty, you have scars all over you. The scars will remain, but I don't believe that the dirt and the hair will be there, because I think that there was too much issues when it came to the programming to actually have it work properly. So that may be a feature that we'll have in the future, but for right now, it's not going to be there.
Okay, so really
I
won't have to worry
so
about the
Yeah, so
whole.
I'm not actually concerned about it at all. Now, if it does come up, then even I'll just adapt. It's what I do,
Alrighty.
and we'll come to it.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely enjoy this next question because this is definitely out of my area. In regards to business policies, what is both the American and European branches of Romeria view on the approach to local business and big business? Will there be a favoritism, moderation, or some other ideas on business policy?
Bring it in. uh, we really love business of all kinds. I know that the head of industry that we have, Zidar, I believe is how he pronounces it. He and our another member of our group, Garrus, they were both part of a third-party affiliated crafting group called Order of the Forge, and their duty was to establish a settlement into each of the kingdoms to allow them to grow and expand and to be completely freelance. They did not want to be necessarily affiliated to any kingdom or anything. They wouldn't be spies and transfer information. However, I don't know if they are still doing it, but Garrus came back to us after Arcadia um, more or less banished him because he was a Romarian. The king there forced him to make a decision: either uh, leave Romaria or leave Arcadia. And at that point, he decided to leave Arcadia because Zidar already was established in Romaria, and so he joined Arcadia so he could actually do something over there.
Okay, so in the Empire's view, on free trade, we're open to neutral guilds coming in because I know I've approached a couple of neutral guilds, offering them, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are more than welcome to set up shop here,
Oh,
like
absolutely,
definitely
absolutely.
like a
Go ahead and do it.
warehouse or
Mm-hmm.
outpost or just something like that.
Every guild that's established, they're still going to pay the same prices. Businesses, they're going to have a set percentage that they'd have to pay, and then citizens have a different set. So obviously, if you're going to decide to set up a business, you have to pay two taxes at that point, but you have the potential to earn so much more because if you are a great craftsman, you will probably be offered a lot of exclusive contracts to work for the county or the duchy or even the kingdom and make only weapons, armor, gear, supply food, and just wares to the kingdom itself, and you'll be paid substantially for that kind of stuff because that is a huge honor, even to our people.
Okay.
So definitely bring your business.
And definitely, and I know a lot of people, um, from the situation with Zedar or whatever. I'm not gonna name any kingdom names for civility reasons, but you know, like for example, we'll take Blackheart and Romaria since they're going to be on the same server, and they're the only
Mm-hmm.
two big kingdoms I can really think of.
Well, we aren't a kingdom yet; we're
Well,
just a duchy.
the
But we
two,
try.
the two
We
big,
try.
the two big communities on the
There we
server.
go. I like
There we go.
that.
So, let's say I run a blacksmithing guild,
Okay.
and I want to set up in Blackheart. So me being set up in Blackheart, I could still open up a blacksmithing station and stuff like that in Romaria as well because I'm third party, I'm neutral. I blacksmith for both sides, whatever they need through contracts or whatever. So
Absolutely, unless we're in time of war,
okay,
because that's the only time that it would not be allowed.
okay.
Because if it was in a time of war and you were found guilty of supplying weapons, armor, etc., to the enemy kingdom, then unfortunately you'd be found guilty of treason. You'd be put to death, and you'd be banished from the kingdom and placed on a kill on sight order, and your face would be plastered on every single notice board within the kingdom. We don't take spies, acts of treason, lightly. That's the only time that the hammer comes down. We're a very lighthearted group, but the moment you start messing with the empire itself and going behind its back, that's unfortunately the time that you have to be let go.
Okay. Now let's say my guild, it approaches you and says, "Hey, Arthos, we're established in both Blackheart and your kingdom, or your empire. We do craft swords for them, but we also craft swords and equipment for you as well. We're just trying to make a living here. We're not picking and choosing sides, but we do supply both."
If we aren't at war, there's no problem. At war, we'll ask them to stop, and whatever they're purchasing, we'll buy it.
Okay.
So they're going to make the same amount of money, but now they have to go a much shorter distance.
Okay. Definitely, and that'd be cool until you find out that they're charging you for their stuff as well. They're also supplying them as more as kind of trying to tip the scales.
Yeah, and yeah, that's when the hammer comes down, and it's not going to be pretty.
Definitely. Next question comes from Encon, which you answered already.
Yes. Well, actually, I can go into more detail with that one.
Okay.
I've already talked about it in Discord multiple times. A little bit on the forums, but it's really hard to find it, so this is a good place to announce it. I'm going Pledge Duke through my own funds. However, the people of Remeria, on the NA side, are so devoted to trying to make me a king that we are trying to raise up funds to utilize the gifting option and donate the IP to me. I've spoken with Caspian regarding getting a title through IP, and he's told me that you need 100,000 IP in order to become king. I'm trying to get more information regarding that, so it's not a waste of my time and my people's time, because they are waiting on an answer from him, and he's unfortunately extremely busy and doesn't really have the ability to go into further detail. But when I talked to him about the gifting thing and getting titles, he has told me in a private message that was on the 28th of September, it would be IP, but there will likely be a way to gift people credit towards the purchase of a backing tier. I'm not expecting to get any dinner invite or luxuries of that sort. All I want is the title. And so that is what I'm trying to get answers on. And if it's a yes or a no, that's all I want to know. Don't need any details. I just need to know the answer. So the people that are saving up the funds can go and either take advantage of this awesome opportunity for this Kickstarter stretch goal opportunity, or if they have to wait until November 1st when they can donate the IP. So that is our plan. If we cannot do that, I'm going to be extremely disappointed in Soulbound at that point, just because it's wasted an entire month of my people's time when they could have pledged to Duke or Count and taken advantage of this opportunity instead of having to wait patiently for an answer and not be able to use this and have to spend more and more money just to get a title that they could have gotten a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. And
if we can't get to that Pledge King, then we'll live as our duchy and go about doing our original plan, take over an NPC kingdom. Now, in the event that 2 or more dukes decide to join us, it's already been confirmed. You need 3 dukes to annex yourself from the kingdom, and you can form your own starter kingdom. True, you will have probably that NPC king declare war against you, but you will at least have a community built up to back yourself up. And in
Okay.
that event, take over that king. Do not stop till he dies at that sense.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully we get some answers.
yeah, hopefully soon. And you know, I kind of wanted to add on to that too. I think I was talking about it in the Discord like last week or so. You know, because a lot of people they hear, you know, oh, these people are, you know, donating to Arthos. Well, we're donating the IP to you, and we're not donating
Yeah.
like sending it to a fucking or
Yeah.
you
Yes,
know.
there's been a lot of rumors and lies going around, mostly from the EU. They claimed that I started a GoFundMe to get the funds, and I actually linked them the correct link. My brother's house burnt down on July 4th of this year, and I extended my assistance as best as I could at the time to the Chronicles of Lyria community. And my brother was crying in tears of joy, shocked that these complete strangers were so humble and so supportive of him. And it gave me so much, joy that to see a gaming community of complete strangers come together, and that's really what I love about Chronicles of Lyria. Like that is one of the biggest reasons why I love this community being part of the Empire, because that is the same feeling I get. And now I'm getting teary eyed. So next question.
And definitely, you know,
Sorry.
are you good? And you know, we haven't. A lot of people don't understand either is with the empire and with the community that we've already built. You know, us as community members, you know, we're donating to see the kingdom rise. You know, we're donating to get us closer to that kingdom goal. You know, we're not just donating it to tickle Arthos's fancy. We're donating because we want to see it come to life.
Exactly. People are very committed, and they believe in this, wholeheartedly. They like what they hear. They've drinking that Kool-Aid, and we can be crazy all we want, but we've done something extraordinary, and we're really really proud of what we are trying to do.
Oh yeah, which is you know, me personally, I haven't seen a community like this for any game I've been part of for a while now. You know,
I've never seen a community like this.
for a game that hasn't even released yet.
Oh, absolutely. Hype train.
Uh,
Choo choo.
it's off the rails.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Definitely probably one of the more important ones. Skeletor or He-Man? And this one
Uh,
comes from Tarval Turnbull, and you know this is top-notch question right here.
oh, absolutely.
By the power of Grayskull.
Yeah, I mean, I love Skeletor because he's such great comic relief, but I have to go He-Man. There's actually a video game called
Yeah,
Toy
we'll go
Soldiers.
ahead and end in the Q&A
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a game called Toy Soldiers, and one of
Oh
the
yeah.
enemies is actually He-Man, and that's the character I play because it's just hilarious to watch him. It's like I have the power. It's just hilarious. So I have to go He-Man on that one. As much as I love Skeletor, I know I'm gonna get so much flack for it too.
Yeah. How dare you not like Skeletor, you heathen? Oh
It's not
yeah.
a flaw.
And also, I'm pretty sure Noxidius.
Yes, you must know about his melon cult. Uh,
Definitely, because I'm not gonna lie, I almost bought a Melanist coffee mug the other day. I had to refrain from it, but I'm not gonna lie, shit was very tempting.
no, they're a cult. Straight up, I won't recognize them as a religion unless they're officially on the wiki. I can't officiate them. I'm sorry. As much as I love the humor and the concept, you guys are just a cult to me. I'm sorry. Declare war all you want. I will burn you. You are heretics.
Alrighty, so I think that's pretty much it for all the official questions on here. Do you have anything else you wanted to add or anything like that?
Yeah, anybody who's interested, please come to our Discord. Come to our website. You can join the Discord through there. You can submit an application. Again, it's uh, excuse me, it's actually Romarian-empire.eu. We encourage anybody, affiliate or not, to join us. We are want to build a community. You know, we love the chance to have members join us, but at the same time, we are just here to have fun. We want try to keep true to that gamer feel. We are an RP kingdom. We accept anybody who's just getting into it or have been doing it for years. I've been role playing since God, almost 11, maybe 12 years now, and even over in the EU, Demikos, who never role plays, even gives it a try. He's actually really good at it, and so you'd be surprised. Um, we just have a good time. So
Definitely.
yeah.
And I'll make sure to at the bottom of the video and everything in the comments or whatnot or in the description, I'll make sure to drop all the links and everything like that for the different
Mhm.
forums and the website. And also, I just made a Steam group for us that way because I know it's kind of hard when people are, everyone's on different things or whatever.
Mhm.
With Steam, it'll kind of just bring everybody closer, let us, play games together a little bit easier before Chronicles comes out.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we we're hoping to get some members and be a frightening force against Blackheart. Don't want to go to war, but I know they do. They want to kill innocent Romarians. We've seen some of those comments. So yeah, just have a good time. It's all about the game. It's that journey. And if you're interested in playing other games, we have groups for ESO, Total War games, whatever.
Life is
We're just
Feudal, everything
Life is
like that.
Feudal. Yeah, I believe that we actually have an ARC server as well. So,
Yeah, I think so. Tharn Hammerstrike.
yep, yep. So we got some games to kill some time until COE comes out. We're trying to build that family up.
Definitely. Oh,
And
I didn't
oh,
even.
and if they have any other questions, by all means, feel free to PM me either through Chronicles Illyria or in Discord. My forum name is just Arthos on COE, and then the Discord you can't miss me. If you join through our site, I'm the NA Emperor, quote unquote. So yeah, hopefully that helps everybody clear up some questions and gets a better feel of who I am and puts to shame some of the rumors and speculation of us being warmongering thugs.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hopefully this did to bring to light, a couple of things because I know we have been kind of the talk of some.
We're apparently being, or at least I am, I'm being called Zoltra 2.0 now. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Drama. But anyways, yeah, that's it. So if you have any other questions, let me know.
Well, none from me at the moment, and I don't see anything from anybody else right now. But definitely down the road and as we progress, we'll probably do a couple more Q&A videos for sure.
Oh, for sure, and hopefully we can bring in some of our other leaders. Ask Palatheus. Ooh.
Fuck no.
The man who hates talking, he just wants to smash things good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little. It's a little different for me doing videos. I hate talking. I don't know if you notice. Sometimes I'm not really articulate with my words. So.
It's okay. You will get there, my brother.
Yeah. Now in a recruitment message, shit, I got you.
There you go.
But
All right. Well, I think that's it. So, talk to you later.
alrighty. Yeah, take care, man. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, wow, that was a oh shit, I'm still recording. Oops.